the Nintendo Switch era of Pokemon. Was it even that bad? Now, we have a lot of Pokemon games on the Nintendo Switch, and there's a lot of them, and they're all in different, unique ways. The Nintendo Switch wasn't a horrible era of Pokemon because of the fact that it was pretty much just an experimental thing. Like we got games such as Pokemon Legends Arceus. Now this game right here in specific is one of those games that was really just an experiment to see what they can do with the Pokemon series. And let me tell ya, this game right here, what a masterpiece. It's not perfect in every single way. Just like any Pokemon game, they're not perfect. This one has its flaws, but at the end of the day, it was more like an experiment. An experiment that really succeeded. That allowed Pokemon to become something truly different. Something that we would never have thought of Pokemon to become. Now, besides that game, we have another game that's pretty much also an experiment. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Now, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet was not totally well received across the Pokemon community. But overall, we can say that this game is a pretty fantastic game. Because of the open world aspect of Pokemon, we would have never seen this coming in like a long time. But here we are, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, being able to go around the open world. The game is not perfect, just like every single game, but hey, this shows that they're trying to do something. They're trying to make it so you can explore your heart content to whatever Pokemon regions you want. This is the one game that pretty much stands out above any Pokemon game, besides Pokemon Legends Arceus. But this game, it really makes you feel like you're playing like a different game. A different game because you can go to whatever gym you want, explore, whatever. Pretty perfect game. Alright, so we have another game here that, hey, Pokemon itself on the Nintendo Switch, I thought it was pretty interesting. We got Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shiny Pearl. Now, this game was, not really well received. Most people think that it was just a lame little, copy and paste of the game with a fresh coat of paint. But, it's a pretty interesting thing. Because after this, we had a couple other games that, they weren't really retaking on the Pokemon series. It was more just like, we're going to try this, this, and this. People were getting bored of that, so maybe they just wanted to go back and feel the freshness of Pokemon once again. Now they could have done thousands of other things. But, hey, at the end of the day, it's Pokemon. You play Pokemon, have fun. This game is pretty fun, but, it's just an original Pokemon DS game. It's a pretty interesting one. Now, we got another game that also wasn't really well received, but this is one of my absolute favorite Pokemon games. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Now, this game is really special to me because of the fact that it came with this little ball thing right here. This little ball. This thing is absolutely cool because you can use your ball, catch Pokemon like never before. Feeling the wrath of catching them and battling them with your little Pokeball is cool. Now also, it really brought like things together when you take this and you're like, this reminds me of something. It does, you're right. You can use it as essentially a Pokewalker. A Pokewalker, like those little things from the 3DS, can't really find it, but it's there. Anyways, yeah, those things are pretty awesome, and this game really took the Nintendo Switch era. This was actually the first Nintendo Switch Pokemon game that we got. The mainline Nintendo Switch Pokemon game, it was Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and this game right here is just something special to me. Even though many people dislike this game, this game is something just special. It really, that's all. I like Kanto. Alright. So one more game that, came out. You guessed it. Pokemon Sword and Shield. Now, this game is arguably most people are like, this is the best game, this is the best era. Now, there's a lot of Nintendo Switch Pokemon games, but this one stands above the rest. It kind of takes the Sun and Moon genre of Pokemon, maybe even X and Y, kind of flips it, puts some originality to it, and just adds a whole bunch of stuff. You know, this is the Pokemon game that really introduced new players and even older players to the Pokemon the series. You know, Pokemon Sword and Shield really is a special game because when you take the fact that there is the Dynamax Adventures, for those of you who like shiny hunting, this right here is a really fun game for that. And even still, to this day, there's so many people who play it. But now, to the main objective of the video. Was the series actually good on the Nintendo Switch? Well, I would say yeah. It's more like an experiment. On the Nintendo Switch 2, we could see those experiments come to life. With maybe a mix of Legends Arceus being able to catch the Pokeball or the Pokemon with the Pokeball instead of battling them, encountering them, luring them, whatever, doing all that stuff would be really cool. Mixing it with Scarlet and Violet, having an open world aspect of Pokemon game. And even maybe Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Because of the fact this game looked absolutely gorgeous. If they can take all of these games and put them together, I think we can have ourselves a pretty fantastic Pokemon game. Because all of these games together, if you put them all together, make it just right, I think it would be maybe even the best Pokemon game. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. The best art style out of any Pokemon game. Absolutely amazing art style. We got Pokemon Legends Arceus. With the new catching mechanic and just exploring is fun. Scarlet and Violet. The open world aspect. These three games together, perfect. Now Pokemon Sword and Shield. The gym aspect with the 3D environment was a pretty good mix of Pokemon itself. And we can't forget about Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. These were more like a typical take on the 2D genre. Now, for those of you who really do enjoy the 2D aspect of Pokemon, there's the game for you. But honestly, these are all experiments. The Pokemon games on the Nintendo Switch were pretty much just like an experimental factor for more games to come and even make even better games. All of these games have their own unique touches. If you compare that to the 2DS Pokemon games, for example, those are regarded as some of the best Pokemon games of all time. But do you really notice that there's some kind of experiment to them? Not really. It's pretty much just the same Pokemon game. Now, of course, not exactly the same Pokemon game every single time, but there's not really any experimentation. The 3DS really came out and then made the experimental thing kind of more widely spread because of Sun and Moon also didn't really take the cake of the best Pokemon game. But anyways, that just shows that they're really trying to make something. If you really combine all the games together, you have yourselves a really good Pokemon game. The art style, the exploring with the gym things, the features, the unique features in this game, the open world features, and I'm not quite sure what this game is here, but these four games, beautiful. And right here, you know what, yeah, for the older, aspect, taking the old stuff, the good old stuff, mixing it with some nice art style, mixing it in with a 3D environment with all the gyms, mixing it in with some features from Legends, and also the open world from Scarlet and Violet. Amazing. You can have yourself a really, really fantastic game when you look at it. Maybe Pokemon ZA will give you that. Being able to take all of these games, everything that's good with the games, put them together and make one absolute masterpiece. So overall, I think that the Nintendo Switch era of Pokemon may not have been the best era game-wise, but it for sure is the best era for, just experimentation. Then, once they experiment with all of this stuff, they can really merge all the games together and make one masterpiece. What do you think about this? Do you think that, hey, the Nintendo Switch era was fine, but the games, they weren't that great? What do you think? Hey, the games were good. the experimentation, and I'm looking forward to what Pokemon has to offer in the upcoming future. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section down below on what you think about the Nintendo Switch era of Pokemon. Do you think it was a good one? A bad one? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. What's your favorite game out of the Nintendo Switch era of Pokemon? Is it Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee? Is it Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, Scarlet and Violet, Sword and Shield, or Pokemon Legends Arceus? Let me know in the comment section down below. And thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope you have a fantastic day. With that being said, see you in the next one.